Friends, we do have a code red out there with this whole thing that's coming at us with bird flu. Apparently, we're now being told that we can potentially get it from rare or red meat. If it's not cooked beyond rare, it may pass on through us. Now, we started off by getting told that this bird flu that's in the cows now is not able to get past the pasteurization. All we have to do is just give up our unpasteurized milk. All of our milk has to be manufactured through a facility that is appropriately certified and pays its dues to the USDA and other government agencies. You cannot just have a cow and get milk like people have been doing for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Nope, can't do that anymore. And now we're being told we can't eat rare steaks because the nanny state is coming for us. But friends, we have they did science on this. They did a test, and you need to be aware of this because I know some of you guys are like, this is nothing. This is just being blown out of proportion. Some of you guys are saying, well, it kind of makes sense that they're going to be hitting us with this right before November, huh? So let's get this information out to you guys, and you can decide and let us know down in the comments what you guys think about this. We just want to get you guys the information. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. We try to cover things in the news that's going on out there, and as you've noticed, a lot of times on this channel, I try not to give you my my take on things or push my take on you too much, but give you the facts and let you guys kind of make the decision on this stuff. So we have this this bird flu going around, right? And we have, last I heard, 14 states have it, and we had something like 40-some sites where they were seeing positive tests amongst cattle, mostly among milk cows. Now they have started screening out on, like, they're pulling meat off of the store shelves at retail stores to test it. They have not detected any bird flu at the retail level of where meat is. They have also started testing at slaughterhouses. They have noticed some issues at the slaughterhouse, but they've been pulling that so that it doesn't go through. So cows and animals that are being slaughtered that are that have deformities or have things in their lungs, that kind of stuff, they're pulling that and then they're testing them for bird flu and not letting that go into the meat market right now. But what they did was USDA did like a test. Okay, so they got a virus that was very similar to the H5N1 bird flu, and they basically, did a test of like how much heat, like what kind of cooking will it take to kind of destroy this. And the disturbing thing was that they found that beef that was not cooked above 120 degrees, which is the center of the steak, if you're getting a rare steak, will be about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. They found that there was still live cultures of this stand-in virus. And they picked it because it's very similar to the bird flu that's going around right now. Since it came out of a lab, they have other ones in the lab that are very similar, not suspicious at all, right? Anyway, so a lot of you guys have pointed out that you find it very suspicious that this thing is suddenly hopping between species, almost as if it's getting a helping hand. And that, the CDC guy out there was saying literally that he could make it hop between species very quickly. And you're just there like, that really shouldn't be something the CDC director is saying. Shouldn't be talking about how you could make it worse. And yet it's surprisingly hopping between species. It shouldn't be going to cows. It shouldn't be going to cattle. We haven't seen bird flu do that. And now we're seeing it spreading amongst cattle. So the question is this going to be a legitimate threat to our health? And if it's just doing its natural thing, maybe not, or maybe so. But if it's getting a helping hand, it might be more serious than what we might normally expect. So with that in mind, this is what we're being told. Pasteurization of milk supposedly kills it. Nothing gets through the pasteurization process of this virus. Now, other stuff gets through. It kills most of the bacteria and stuff like that. Pasteurization, unless it's ultra pasteurized, like the stuff that goes on the store shelves in boxes, that stuff's ultra pasteurized, right? And stuff that goes in cans, that stuff can just sit on the shelf. It doesn't go bad for a very long time. Whereas most of the milk that shows up in our stores is just pasteurized. It's not ultra pasteurized. Now, raw milk out there is a thing that a lot of people like, and they kind of suspicious of the whole pasteurization process and just the fact that it's going through a factory, right? And I get that. They want to get it straight from the farmer. They want to make sure that it has good probiotics and all that kind of stuff in there. But USDA is out there saying, nope, don't do that because you can get the bird flu from it. No instances yet that I've heard of people getting it from unpasteurized milk. No cases at all yet. The people that have gotten testing positive for it are people that work in dairy farms, and even they haven't gotten sick from what we've seen. They just tested positive. That maybe they didn't wash their hands and they got a test positive off them, or maybe it's just false positives. We don't know, but we don't really see people getting sick from this just yet, at least not in the United States. And we definitely don't see any people getting it from milk. Now, if it's truly in the meat and it's going to get, eventually it's going to slip through, some of it's going to slip through. Now, they're saying that if you cook it medium well, anything from 145 degrees Fahrenheit up, so you can go medium rare. Sorry, I said medium well. I mean medium rare at 145 degrees on up. That supposedly destroyed all the virus fragments. There was no active virus found in their test subjects from that. So you can make a decision where you're going to switch over to, cooking your steaks a little more. This is also particularly going for ground beef because a lot of ground beef in the United States comes from milk cows, right? Milk cows and less desirable cattle gets ground up into ground beef. Now, if you're buying it directly from ranchers, from the butcher house, you're probably getting a much higher quality stuff. But the bad stuff, they don't chop up into steaks. They basically just throw them in the grinder. And if this is mostly in milk cows, then this may show up in the ground beef faster. And I think it's probably a good idea to be cooking your ground beef past rare anyway, right? But once again, giving you the information, you make decisions for yourselves. Let us know down in the comments what you're thinking about that. All right, so we're asking the question, is this just all manufactured as we go into November? Do we need a distraction so that more rules can be put into play and so that rules can be bent again? We saw this, and the cynical among us are asking those type of questions, I imagine. So we haven't seen bird flu in the retail beef yet at the stores or anything like that. They're doing spot checks and they haven't found it there. But what they're also doing is they're having basically the farmers and ranchers, before they send the cattle to the slaughterhouses, they're basically certifying that their cattle have been checked by a vet, or that they don't have bird flu, that they haven't tested positive for bird flu. So if you have cattle that have tested positive for bird flu, I think they're still letting them, milk them, but they're not supposed to send them to the slaughterhouse, right? And they're supposed to be isolating them and supposed to be like holding this thing down, sort of. Is that working? With over 40 some sites across the United States in 14 states, yeah, it's not really working all that well. It's still spreading somehow, right? And so eventually, you imagine it's not going to just move from milk cows to milk cows. It's going to start getting into the beef herds. Even if it is getting some help from the lab, But this is probably moving towards it getting into the beef supply. I think that's reasonable to suspect. And the question is even if you get live virus in your steak or whatever, can we even get it? Can humans get it yet? And that may be a no, because now bird flu, people with lots of exposure historically have been able to get bird flu, and it's been very severe. You know, people handling a lot of poultry, and you know, so there have been hundreds of cases over the last couple decades of people getting bird flu, and a surprisingly large portion of them, about 50% of them, actually perished. Now, that's not the United States, that's worldwide. You know, people in Papua New Guinea and people in, you know, Africa and stuff like that. And of course, they're not reporting the cases of people, they got a little cough and they didn't feel bad, so they just kind of kept working. Those cases don't get reported, just the serious ones do. So how serious is this? Maybe lots of people get it and most people don't get impacted by it, and just a few people get impacted by it, and those people, it was severe. We don't know. But it may take a lot of exposure, and maybe like the little bit that comes through the steak may not get you sick, unless you have like a very compromised immune system. That could be the case there too. We're speculating a little bit here, but let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the speculations and thoughts and the data points I've just given you. That way we can kind of hear from more voices, and some of you guys have a lot of experience in this with that, and some of you guys just have some good viewpoints to share with everybody else. That's what we're all about here, is passing information amongst ourselves and being prepared, right? So it looks like the vector that we're being told is probably going to be what's going to infect people, possibly, is going to be through raw meat. That's what we're being told at this point. Don't eat your raw chicken in case it has bird flu, and of course. But I don't think many people eat raw chicken, so that's not as much of an issue. But rare steak, a lot of people do that. So I want to get that out to you guys immediately so that you can kind of be thinking about that and making decisions. If you like your rare steaks, maybe just stock up on the steaks that you're going to eat and store them real well, so that you know that you got them before they're contaminated by any of that kind of stuff, right? We also, you can also do the freeze-dried route. You can do the canned route, because canned is always going to be fully cooked. Or you can just make sure that your steaks and your ground beef are just fully cooked and browned. Or even at least the steaks are cooked up to 145 degrees Fahrenheit on the inside. All right, friends, that's the information. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Is this a real deal? Is this just another crazy thing that they're saying? But the USDA is getting that warning out to people. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining us. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right there. I'll put the pepper beef, actually has a real nice sale going on right now. If you're interested in freeze-dried beef, 35% off if you use the subscribe and save option there. You can always cancel after your first month, so that kind of thing. But or get canned goods, or lots of different options out there. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.